Believe it or not, guys, the Cannoneer Tower Troop is back and might actually be almost as good as the Princess Tower, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. On Royal API, it shows you guys the Tower Troops that people are using, and if we look at the top 10 here, the person who's currently #1 in the world inside of this mortar deck is using the Cannoneer. The person in second place in the world is using the Cannoneer inside of this giant graveyard deck. Third place is using the Princess Tower, fourth the Princess Tower, fifth the Princess Tower, but in sixth place, the Cannoneer again inside of Mortar, seventh place, the Cannoneer inside of P.E.K.K.A, eighth place, the Cannoneer inside of Mortar, ninth place is the Princess Tower, 10th place though, Cannoneer inside of Royal Giant, and then 11th place, you see the Cannoneer inside of the Evo Gob Giant. So 7 out of the top 11 are currently using the Cannoneer, which seems to me like it's very solid, and at the top of ladder, it is performing very well. So in today's video, I'm going to be playing a couple matches, each with a different Cannoneer deck, and I'll be showcasing why the Cannoneer is pretty good again. Alright guys, let's get into a match now with the first Cannoneer deck. I'm going to show you guys it pairs very well inside of Giant Graveyard, which is why you guys saw it is currently second in the world at the moment. I think one of the biggest reasons why the Cannoneer goes well with Giant Graveyard is because you have Snowball in the deck, and the Snowball is great because it pairs well with the Cannoneer because it's pushing the unit back and slowing it down, which buys the Cannoneer more time to shoot another shot or two, which then means that you're getting extra DPS on it because you're essentially helping the Cannoneer do what it lacks, deal with swarms, and also buying it more time to get more shots in. Now, this guy's got the Cannoneer as well. It looks like he's running a bait deck, though, and I feel like this might be a little annoying for him because the graveyard is just going to be absolutely obnoxious for him to deal with, but on the flip side, it's going to be a little bit challenging for me to deal with his baity cards. So let's see who comes out on top in this Cannoneer versus Cannoneer match. Now, he does have Dark Goblin for the graveyard, which means I can't just go for a graveyard for no reason out of nowhere because he can get away with going Dark Gob, so I really got to make sure I at least have arrows in rotation for that if I do want a graveyard when he has it in cycle, and he's going to go in for his bush. The bush could be a little challenging for me to deal with. We're going to have to see how that goes. I guess we'll just go in for a Night Witch here. We can go in for a Snowball on top of the Goblin Gang. That should be good enough defense, and as you can see, the Cannoneer is going to take it out, and he gets no damage on the tower. Maybe we'll go in for, I think we want to just get rid of this Dark Gob, and we'll probably get a Bomber going on top of the Bush Goblins. That should be pretty good. Hopefully we can also deal with the Prince without an issue. Wait a minute. Hopefully the Bomber does turn around. Wait, it does, but the Bush, oh no, the Bush. Oh no. We're going to have to try to get a lot of damage here with this graveyard. Hopefully we can. It might be a little hard for him to deal with, actually, harder than I anticipate. Let's see if that is the case. He's going to go in for a Goblin Gang. Let's get a Snowball going here on top of these Spear Goblins, and hopefully we can get a lot of damage. Yeah, we actually are going to get a good amount. It's going to, okay, actually, that's way more than I thought, and I also realized this guy has the Curse. That kind of caught me off guard. Okay, so Curse. I think I'm very positive we can take his tower. I actually don't think that this is a awful situation. I might actually allow him to take mine, because then that likely means we can just kind of go all in here and ensure we take the tower, and we probably want to play same lane as him anyway, so let's just go ahead and do that. And he's going to have the Evo Skellies, and the Rage actually does kill the Evo Bomber, so that was well played on his end, but we are still going to take his tower. We'll just go for a Snowball here on top of the bush, and then maybe try to get a graveyard going here, and yeah, let's do this and just ignore the barrel because we have the King Tower helping out, so I don't think it'll do too much damage. He did get the Curse going though, so we've got to be really cautious about that. Let's get arrows going on top of everything. Oh, look at the Night Witch. It's dealing so much damage on top of the King Tower, and just like that, we're in an amazing position this game. Let's go for a Night Witch here. He's going to go in for a bush, so I think we should be fine. The Night Witch should be able to take care of it without it dealing too much damage, I think. No, it actually went too far ahead, but let's just go Giant Graveyard here, and as long as this Giant just gets a tiny bit of damage, oh, we don't even need it. Look at the Graveyard. That's going to be a nice Game 1 win over there. I'd say not a bad matchup. And the second Cannoneer deck we're going to be playing is this Evolve Mortar deck, which you guys saw is first in the world at the moment. So I really think the fact that Cannoneer is #1 and #2 in the world at the moment really does speak volumes, and this guy is running the Princess Tower. So let's see how this match goes. We'll just go ahead and split bats to start things off, and if he doesn't do anything, I'll just pair the miner with the bats to apply some pressure and force a response out of him, he's going to have these skelly drags. So that probably means there's a high chance he's running, it could be like lava, it could also be a mirror match as well, but maybe he just has Princess Tower instead of Cannoneer. But sure enough, he does have the lava. We're actually going to pressure opposite lane. I don't have a ton of air counters, and I don't really want to mortar just yet, so let's just do this. I think it's a bit better, and that's actually perfect because he went for zap and guards, but look at how much damage we got. We're going to go for bats here. He doesn't have his skelly drags back in cycle, so the bats might actually get a ton of value here if he doesn't have a good response for them. And look at that, they actually are going to get a ton of value, which is exactly what I was looking for. So honestly, I would say really good start to this match. I can't really complain. We'll just go for a mortar here to pressure and see what he wants to do. He's going to go in for a Valkyrie, so, and then he voids that. I'm completely fine with that. I could have protected, but I feel like he spent a lot of elixir, so I'm completely fine with letting that die. I think we go cannon cart here again with these skelly drags, and then we'll actually go in for a miner, and this could be a little annoying for him to deal with if he doesn't have a good response. Yeah, look at that, he went in for zap. Guards went behind the cannon cart though, so it didn't push it off the tower, and that is going to actually be tower down. We're just going to arrow this here to help the Cannoneer out a bit, take the guards off, or the shields off of the guards, excuse me, so that way it is able to clean up quite nicely, and we are in an amazing situation. I think we just go mortar once we get a little bit more elixir, because I feel like he can't really ignore it. Maybe he decides to void it or something, I guess we'll see. No, he goes in for a Valkyrie, and then he might void it after, but if he does, that's so much elixir, and now I have my Evo mortar at the ready. He's gonna lava. Let's just go cannon cart in the pocket, because if it locks on the tower, and then if we get the mortar to lock on the tower, it might be the nail in the coffin for him, because then we pretty much have a high chance of getting the 2 crown. I also think the skelly drags are likely going to go in front of the lava as well, which is very, very nice, of course, and we should be able to defend this, I would assume so, and even if we can't, I think if we lose our tower, it's not really the end of the world. Let's see if we can get the... No, we aren't going to be able to get the Evo mortar on the tower, unfortunately, but hopefully we can stop this balloon. I think the arrows here on top of the lava pups and everything should be nice. The balloon doesn't even get a connection. Look at that. The Cannoneer just deals so much DPS to the lava, and that is one of the reasons why it is very solid in this meta. Lava's in a good spot. Giant, RG, even some E-Giant we're seeing again. So there's just a lot of beatdown decks, which the Cannoneer absolutely slaps, as you guys saw this match. Because I'll tell you what, if you had the Princess Tower in this type of matchup, it would be a lot harder to defend the lava loon pushes. So that's going to be it, guys. Those are the 2 Cannoneer decks I would recommend. They're first and second in the world for a reason. Be sure to give them a try. You could also try the Cannoneer out inside of Royal Giant and some other things if you want. But yeah, guys, the Cannoneer is trending so much that I actually wanted to show you guys this. Lucas X Gamer, who's a player that qualified for the World Finals this year, which means he's very good, said please nerf this shit, and he's talking about the Cannoneer, and this tweet was from just a few days ago on August 10th. So it's getting to the point where some pros actually think it needs a nerf, so that way the Princess Tower is without a doubt the best tower troop in the game, which is what a lot of people want. But at the same time, there's a lot of casuals that think the Cannoneer isn't that good. So I honestly, in my opinion, feel like the Cannoneer can definitely stay where it's at unless it gets out of hand. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. If you guys are not subscribed already, you can use creator code BOSS to support me in any Supercell game. And thanks again. Until next time, guys.